Hi, Suput. I don't know how to say your username. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, kind of the standard today, I guess, like any other day. I think I did turn that off for 85%. Hey, Jason Strub. Hi, Leonardo. I don't think any of you have been subscribers, but don't think. You just pop in and stay a while. What Today was pretty atypical. You know, only had about $9.50, but I went to the dollar store and got some stuff. I got, just can tie me over right now. Just essentials. One box of Kraft Dinner, shark cheddar Kraft Dinner. I don't I don't necessarily like to have that, but three three packs of Maggie. I'm making one pack of Maggie, some peanut butter. What was it? Oh yeah, a couple cans. I had one can of Pepsi, and then there was another can of Dr Pepper. But I thought because I'm getting low, I need. There's so many different things, and I'm trying not to borrow iCash loan money, and I've been doing so for the last little bit. For whatever, if it's like for me to travel or you know whichever. But I'm trying to not do that anymore. So yeah, it's tough. But I found this at the Salvation Army today. It's a little oversized. I'm like, yeah. Usually with a hoodie, I'm a large. If I'm a medium, it fits me because I have pretty long arms. So this is an XL, and I don't know what this is. I thought it says like Eclipse. No, it's some Empire. So it's okay. It's okay to wear it if you want it a little baggy, like streetwear. 18 18 plushies of farmers market toy set just $6 off. Yard sales. Hi Hunter. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jay. No. Usually people don't really come on streams anymore. Um, I don't know. It's kind of intense sometimes. Well, all the time, really. I don't know. Who is your day? Yeah. Where are you guys all coming from? Oh man, another Saturday and I ain't got nobody. Oh, you did guys subscribe? Thank you. 801 now. Span 18 years. No, not a heck of a whole lot, but 801 is not nothing. I don't know. Those things kind of get to me. Like most of the time, I sit here waiting, whether it's I'm streaming a game or even games now. Like I was trying to play it just a couple of days ago. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was last night. I was trying to play. I was going through a hard game of Batman Arkham City, and people don't want to watch me play an old game like Arkham City. I play that so many times, but I don't know. I mean, I rarely can get a new game, and I just don't have the available money set aside to get a game I haven't played before. Plus, I'd really like to get the PlayStation 5 at some point. Maybe when it can be on sale. I don't even know when that can happen on sale because, as far as I recalled, it's about 600, $700 or more. I think it's into the thousands for PlayStation 5 with some certain deal, or not deals, but bundles. What games do I play? Like Red Dead Redemption. I don't know what kind of games those are. A lot of Batman. Even I've been in the whole Batman craze lately. Like just watching video essays of the more recent movies, or there was one sort of thing on Joker about like why why he's doing what he's doing, why he shot Murray, and all this other thing, and why people walk over him, whatever, because he's someone who can't really control his abilities or disabilities or whatever. Oh, I've been sad, yeah, every day. Yeah, black people like this hat, and I ordered it the 13th of April. I got it the May 8th. So it was a long. No, you just be how you are. You can't. You can be sad. You can just feel how you feel. Um, but when I can move as I'm working on it, then I'll be happy, 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 happy. Um, yeah, this month, thinking a lot about a certain someone in June. So I actually got one of his pictures. I was planning. I wanted to do this for a while. So this is someone very special who I'm still trying to write a song for. Tanner. Um, he killed himself about a year and a half ago. Uh, Jumped off the bridge in Saskatoon. And I was just testing. I got this one and a smaller one that I got printed out. Oh, I just gotta hold on here. Yeah, all these different sizes or whatever. So I think there's some other extra. So this one, yeah, just this kind of more photo op is how I remember him a little bit more. This must have been like from 2016, 17 or something. But this was like, mm, this could have been back in, hard to say, 2021, 2022. I don't know. So I just got it on my phone and then I sent it over. But yeah, I got a cheaper frame, but it was just trashed, and the glass broke, and the frame was all just fucked up. But yeah, I met him on POF a long time ago, so we kind of had a connection. Plus, his birthday's coming up on June 22nd. If he made it to the 22nd of June, he would have been 30. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about him as of late. There's just been signs, and still somewhat been feeling like he's still somewhere around, whether I can complete his song. But yeah, I didn't want to overwhelm myself too much. But yeah, this is it's crazy because I was thinking about doing it for some time. But how it's been happening, one for my desk and one just the corner little side table shelf thing. So yeah, but I think there's probably about maybe like 4 times a week that I reminisce or whatever and get all teary eyed with it all. I mean, I've lost a lot of people, but with him, I think he's the like no one so far as to date, no one can top that loss for me as of now. It was very very personal, but yeah, people say, "Oh, you look sad." Well, kind of am sometimes. But I got this hat. To change the subject a bit, I got this hat on eBay back in. Oh, I enter. Yeah, I must have paid. I wonder if Canada Post was going to ask for more money, and they didn't. It came right on schedule. $58 on eBay. think that's done now. This is actually going to be spicy. So, uh, whole wheat bread, whole wheat bread. Yeah, nice with the rocket whipping. It's actually a rocket exclusive hat, but it's a lids hat. This one says Guardians. And then this other part, I don't know why it says it, but it says a little good, a little bad, all Guardian. And then you get the little Marvel piece on here. It says Marvel. Brownish, creamy. And then the rim. But his eyes eyes are sort of the same color as that too. I get it. I don't know. Yeah. It's basically me as Rocket. This is going to be spicy. I'm working a little bit on organizing and cleaning up to some extent. I mean, yeah, around. It's been a lot messier. I'm still trying to work it out. Yeah, not a lot of space. Still room for improvement. What a TV, eh? Since I've been back to the desk, I haven't been operating this TV too much, but I will. I just can't like insert any discs, so I gotta stream shit on here. TCL. Fire TV. Why is it taking so goddamn long, too? Maybe I should sit down here for a bit. Sit down here. My other phone is getting low on battery. Hey, Hunter. Yeah, maybe I'll have to sit down here in my love seat for a bit. So you want to tell me about the Joker? No. I think I need to have pepper for this. Masala. Tiki masala. Masala. Masala beach. Masala beach. Sunny beach. Those are Indian noodles. Like Indian noodles. Well, not actually. I don't like Indian noodles. It's not what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, ask around and try to distract me, maybe. Um, oh, people. Whoa. I don't really like spicy, but yeah, I haven't been operating my TV for a bit. It's on YouTube. It's on CensorTube today. These are actually pretty good. They're about 45 cents each. They're high in sodium, but they're They're lower in sodium than some other ramen noodles. I think they're about 800 milligrams of sodium. Everything. Arkham Asylum, horrifying masterpiece. What was I watched? It was like 5, 6 in the morning. There was, yeah, all this stuff. Batman. Everything's recommended about Batman. I'll be right now. All those 3 days, slow 3 days grace stuff. Noodle. Like a noodle. Like a noodle. Did I fall asleep to Rob's ASMR? Oh my god. Played all his playlists. He's so lovely. He doesn't do YouTube anymore. Bandit ASMR. Wait a minute. Where was this Joker thingy? You're like a noodle. He missed your noodle. I like you, but I don't speak a noodle. I don't speak a noodle. Where the fuck is this? Oh, how a broken man becomes a monster. In Joker, there's another one that's not Batman. This was Robin Williams wasn't the choices that made Mrs. Doubtfire timeless. Yeah, so these two videos.
But after some jokes, he tells
I don't
her
know if
that he
anyone's
does
seen
stand-up
the Joker.
comedy and invites her. The next day,
I haven't seen the
he
sequel
finds
yet.
himself working with children in a hospital. While doing his job, he drops the weapon he uses for protection and is reported. The guy who gave him the gun said Arthur bought it for him, which is a complete lie, and his boss fires him.
Average.
That is an unemployed guy dressed as a clown at 11 p.m. on a train with an involuntary laugh. There are 3 guys bothering this girl. Arthur has that bad luck to start laughing, attracting the attention of these guys, and they start beating him up. Fed up with their cruelty, he pulls out his gun and shoots one of them in the head. He shoots the other one twice, and then chases and kills him outside the train.
Come from,
Here we can see one of the symbols present through the film, public transport. If we look at a subway, we'll see all kinds of people. A train car can be a representation of society itself, that is, of different social status, different purchasing power, and different ways of dressing. A complete portrait of ordinary people. Well, it's precisely on the bus where we discover Arthur's flex problem, laughter, and how his inability to control it already sets him apart from everyone else. It's very striking. He can't travel like everyone else, and it's the first sign that he doesn't fit in. Then, when he's beaten up for dressing as a clown and laughing on the subway car, the film is telling us that he's different in his way of dressing, or even in his laughter, and that he feels alienated to the point of feeling pain. There are 3 men in suits, quite representative of what it means to be isolated from society, by people dressed up in what we would consider acceptable. Upon realizing what he's just done, he panics and flees until he reaches the restroom of a park. There, the anxiety gradually disappears. And it's in this place, something changes within him. Then he begins to dance. It's an abstract scene of liberation. This dance is the breaking point of Arthur, the moment when his transformation begins. At the beginning of the movie, he tells the doctor that the medication wasn't helping him feel better. With this bathroom scene, we notice that he finds relief. He also feels encouraged to go to his neighbor and kiss her, and they spend the night together. He also feels unusual confidence, which allows him to send to hell all his co-workers. The following scene, born from the depression and sadness of having been fired, shows him erasing a phrase on the stairs that has to do with smiling and how positive a smile is, changing it because no one is smiling anymore. But the sadness of the change in the phrase that he has made clashes sharply with how he descends the stairs, going down playfully and taking the door with great decisiveness. It is a descent of a person overcome by pain and sadness. He is embracing, for the first time, that freedom or that madness. In fact, this scene is already a small version of the final liberation that we will see. Arthur sits beside his mother as they watch a news report together. On screen, Thomas Wayne addresses the recent subway murders, speaking about the victims who work for his company. He portrays him as a well-educated and upstanding man. When questioned about the public's increasing anger towards the wealthy, Wayne responds by announcing his intention to run for mayor, claiming he wants to restore order.
How many counts
However,
have you
when the
been
topic
making?
shifts to the killer, Wayne
Crazy, man.
harshly condemns him, calling him a coward for wearing a mask and
What's it
dismissively
about me
referring
you
to
have
those
to
at
go
the
and
bottom of
see?
society as clowns that do nothing with their lives. His words enrage many, and in a response,
I'm
begin using the image of the clown as a symbol of protest. Not long after,
pretty mid-tier.
Arthur attends another therapy session.
Oh, it's
He tells his social
spicy
worker that
Indian
she never
noodle.
truly hears him, and admits that, for once, he feels seen, as if he finally realized he exists. She responds coldly, explaining that the budget cuts have ended his treatment, and that this will be their final meeting, meaning his medication will be discontinued. She adds that the system has no concern for people like him or her. Everything around him has let him down. There's a saying that goes something like, the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Later that night, Arthur takes the stage at a small comedy club, with Sophie standing in the crowd. As soon as he steps into the spotlight, he starts laughing non-stop. When he actually gets through a couple of jokes, the room goes silent. No one laughs. He goes outside and sees someone wearing a clown mask in a taxi. This is very important to him because they stare at each other. This is where the truth is revealed to him, that this is the way out, that this is the way he can fit into society. It's even more apparent when Sophie says that the guy is a hero. Life is smiling to Arthur a little bit. It seems, however, when Arthur gets back home, he discovers another letter his mother has written, this time insisting that Thomas Wayne is his real father. He confronts her right away, and Penny tells him that they were once in love, but had to keep their relationship hidden to protect Wayne's image for the difference in social class. The next day, Arthur goes to Wayne's mansion. Now, we see another scene on a train, but everything is completely different. Everyone
This is one of my favorite hats. It's between this and my Batman hat.
Attention, but the killer clown.
My Batman hat is all red.
Is able to attract attention, but in a
Red and black,
way,
and
don't look at him strangely. Instead, they pay attention.
There's probably
Arthur
videos
sees
or
this,
streams of
and
me
begins to
wearing
think
it.
that his way of leaving a mark on society could be through his makeup and also through violence. Arthur shows up at Wayne Manor and runs into a young Bruce Wayne, who will eventually become Batman. He tries to
There's probably
entertain him
little
with a few magic
elements
tricks, but the moment doesn't last. Alfred
characteristics
steps in and tells Arthur to leave, warning him that he will call the cops if he doesn't.
of me,
back, claiming he's Penny's
with
son,
Batman.
he needs to speak to
I relate
Thomas Wayne because he
to
knows
him
the
quite,
truth. Alfred just laughs it off, saying his mother was delusional. When Arthur gets back to his apartment, he learns that Penny
quite a
has a
degree.
stroke and is already being rushed to the hospital. He doesn't
But
think twice
I
and
think
climbs
I
into
think
the
Rocket
ambulance.
is, if anything,
Two detectives
out of
stop
all the
him,
comic
ask
book
him questions
characters,
about
I
the
think
subway killings. His
I'm
own
most
boss
like
takes the
Rocket.
talk about the gun and
I
safety of the kids. Calmly
I'm
speaking
most
to
like
Wayne,
Rocket,
Arthur tells him there was only a prop,
which
and
is
walks
crazy
away to check on his
because
mother.
like when I grew up,
She's on the Murray Franklin show, only to be crushed
I
by
think
what he sees.
Spider-Man's always been number one for me.
Making fun of his show, calling him a joker.
But to be honest, maybe Batman is number one. Who knows? And maybe Wolverine is number two. Maybe Rocket's number three. Maybe Rocket's number two. Maybe Wolverine's number three. And then Batman's number four. I mean Spider-Man's number four. I don't know. But there's always those five. There's Spider-Man, Batman, Wolverine, Rocket, and Hellboy. Those are my five go-tos for the most part. That,
the idea that Thomas Wayne might be his father had
oh yeah,
one thing keeping him together. It was a chance
actually have the car.
And had finally belonging somewhere. But that
I actually have the car.
Wayne humiliates him, and Arthur's left with even a darker truth.
But
What he thought was his mother
yeah,
isn't
this
his
is
mother
just
at
a
all.
display
His entire
item.
past suddenly feels fake, and somehow it's not even over yet. The next day,
Got it for like
Arthur gets
$1.50.
call from Murray's producers inviting him onto the show. He agrees. Later, he's
Why is
invited
this
to the
blue?
bus.
Isn't it
To
supposed to
continue
be
with the symbolism of
orange?
transport, Arthur's at the back of the
Like
bus,
flames? I
alone,
don't know.
with
Blue.
no one sitting next to him, surrounded by graffiti of the colors yellow and red, so frequently used in the film, symbolizing madness, yellow, and violence.
It's just a
Red. Society has clearly abandoned Arthur, and the only things in his head represented by those graffiti and colors are those two ideas of violence and madness.
Some people may not like it. It's just
he goes to his mother's records and sees
the back is. It's basically a muscle car. I think it's like a Charger.
She attempted to take his son's life. Arthur wasn't her
They never really say in the Batman.
The file reveals
I watched the Batman again a week ago,
There was a report describing
and I'm tempted to watch the Joker. Not not the Joker.
malnourished, covered in
I'm tempted to
bruises, and
watch.
suffering from
I'm
severe neck
tempted to
trauma.
watch. Like, I can't do these two things at once, so I'll just stop this. Um, I'm tempted to watch the Joker, and maybe take the Folie à Deux out from the library because I haven't seen it, but people said it's atrocious, and it's kind of divided or something with the second Joker movie. I haven't seen it, but I have the first one on Blu-ray. Uh, I thought I was gonna watch Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy before I saw Joker, but I didn't, because that's what those movies are based on, and also One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Let's blow some incense here. How about some vampire's blood? No, I'm not. Favorite Spider-Man? I there's actually on my wish list. There's stuff I've added to my Amazon and stuff I get eventually or not. But there's this little Batman PVC statue. I have a bunch of these PVC statues. It's just a matter of where to put them. I really like her. You know, some of these have dropped or whatever, but Harley, I really like the sculpt on here. But yeah, she's sitting on a box with blue bombs. She looks a lot like Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie. I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of stuff, but even the stuff I have, yeah, she's wearing red and black Converse. It looks like the stuff that I have is almost like I don't know. Whoa, careful. Oh yeah, I love Margot Robbie. If anything, if I had to have a crush on a girl, or woman, I think it would be Margot. Well, I don't know for her per se. Uh, I'm trying to think. There's Jenna Ortega's really nice. Um, Not Jenna Ortega. Who else was there? Margot Robbie. Um, I mean, but you don't know when it's. You could keep going on that loop, man, of hanging out. Like, I'll let you know. I'm working on it. I'll see. Be frenetic, be anxious about the whole meeting thing. And it's just for the best that I have you taken off, blocked everywhere, basically. Or maybe here. Maybe here is the only place where it's not going to happen because you just keep making. As soon as I block you, Sean, you'll just make endless different accounts. I don't know. I watched a little bit, maybe about one or two. That was what, two seasons of it, of Wednesday. I was trying to think of other ladies that I wouldn't mind being interested in. Yeah, Margot Robbie off the top of my head. She was in Beetlejuice 2. Kind of hurt and stung. You know, I've gave that 3 tries watching Beetlejuice 2, and I own it on Blu-ray. Now, I don't know who Sabrina Carpenter is, but some of the comments that she made to Lydia, be like, can you stop being a freak for like 5 minutes, 5 seconds, or 5 minutes? And then she just walks off, and then like you could see that Lydia or Winona Ryder's kind of hurt over that. At the same time, Winona wasn't playing Lydia like she played Lydia when she was 15. It was like, wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. Yeah, Jenna Ortega, she's could be pretty hot. What's she gonna be now? What, 22, 23? Vampire's blood. They don't really specify what vampire's blood is. I think I did read this ingredients. I think it was plum and stuff. Tanner really liked his incense too. Very good. Vampire's blood. Okay, see ya. Enough. I'm from Canada. Favorite Spider-Man though. Jeez. I think Tom Holland. Yeah. Um, I like Latina. I like Latino. Do I like fire trucks? I don't know. No. And the live stream went dead. No one talking now. Yeah, I think I should probably have a shower tonight, maybe. Who knows? Who knows if I'll have it in me to play. I think in my head I'm a little bit psychic, that I know. I foresee a little bit of what's going to happen the following day, or just in, it's like more than just intuition. If I'll play the mechs again tomorrow, maybe not. There's a good outlet there for people that are trying to embrace the stage a little bit. So some of the songs I do are going to be probably, maybe encourage, maybe give some people some little wisdom. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm so latched onto emotion when I do my songs and stuff, because that's my own self-therapy, is when I cover songs or whatever. It's hard to believe I actually wrote a song in over 10 years. And I'm still trying to work on more. I'm hoping I can make an EP, half an album, maybe about 5 or 6 songs, and yeah, hopefully that can see a light of day. Still haven't read this all the way through. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy and Amazing Spider-Man. Don't think I have a printout slip. By the time these are due, like I take them out, I can't even finish them in 3 weeks. I gotta take it somewhere. I don't know. Oh, thanks, man. How would you, where would you place it compared to my older songs I have? It's a, well, they're all a little different, I guess, in some way. But who I dreamt to be, there's just so much lyrics for me shoved in it within close to under a 4 minute song. And it's hopeful, somewhat, but only secondary because it's also kind of reminiscent and thinking about all this sort of, you know, past and, you know, I'm working on the person I dreamt to be, and all the chorus has been in my head for like 5 years at least, I think. I thought I was gonna do it in like a C sharp tuning and be like, I'm working on, I'm trying the person I dreamt to be. And yeah, so no. Tanner's song, Tanner's song is going to be an acoustic kind of drawn out. It's kind of a drop tuning, a drop tuning, and it's kind of sounds a lot. It's going to sound a lot like 3 Days Grace a little bit. I'm thinking. So his song I'm doing for him is going to be an acoustic ballad kind of thing. Whenever I can write it, and I have some other acoustic songs I've come up with, and then I have a couple of really heavy songs I have yet to. Yeah, some of the titles are there and whatever, but yeah, to make my own EP, it's a little rough. It's a little tough to do it my own self and whatever, and yeah, especially when I'm exhausted all the time and carrying my head up held high, and having to endure the psychotic people and nonsense 24/7. Yeah, but it's gonna end soon. I need to get where I gotta be, and I think who I dreamt to be, um, kind of speaks to that. Like I'm working on the person I dreamt to be, and need to get to where I need to be, to a place that I can call home. Kind of reference to place I call home a little bit. Need to get to a place I can call home. Get to a place. Get to a place I call home. Place I call home. Yeah.
And sees everything laid out in black and white. Penny was diagnosed with a serious psychotic disorder. She attempted to take his son's life. Arthur wasn't her biological son. He was adopted. But the worst part comes next. The file reveals that Penny allowed her boyfriend to abuse Arthur. There was a report describing how he was once found tied to a radiator, malnourished, covered in bruises, and suffering from severe head trauma. This is where Arthur finally breaks. His mother had been the one constant in his life, the only person he believed cared about him or gave him any sense of worth. And now that illusion completely shatters. He was already barely holding himself together, and this discovery pulls the last bit of support out from under him. His sense of self collapses.
Joker is too real. It's a lot like my life, too.
If he stood by while he was abused, then everything he thought he knew about his life was built on a lie. So who's Arthur really? He isn't a Fleck, and he isn't a Wayne. He's no one. And the world around him has no mercy to nobodies. Any connection he had to reality slips away in that moment. And in that state of total vulnerability, the dark side of him, the one that's been slowly growing all along, is finally ready to take over. At the same time, the records about his head injury add another tragic layer to his story. It suggests that the trauma may be the reason behind his condition. Every burst of uncontrollable laughter isn't just awkward or uncomfortable. It is a physical reminder of the abuse he endured as a child. Not only did they show us this, he enters Sophie's apartment unannounced, but we also see that Arthur never went out with his neighbor. She was afraid of him and begged him to leave her house because her daughter was sleeping, and he says the following. Arthur imagined everything and made a gesture that I believe was the only real interaction that happened between them, like when they crossed paths in the elevator and we saw him leave the apartment. The following day, Arthur goes to see his mother again, this time calmly smoking with his left hand. He tells her that his laughter was never a condition to be cured, but something that defines him. Then he says something that completely reframes his life. He always thought that he was a tragedy, and now he understands it's a comedy. Moments later, he suffocates her. From this point on, there's no turning back. Whatever was holding Arthur together finally gave away. The sight of him that has been buried for years, his anger, the resentment, and bottled up violence, steps forward and takes control. This darker half is the only part of him that has ever felt acknowledged. And it's here that Joker is truly born. The film has been quietly tracing his transformation the entire time, showing how Arthur's shadow slowly grows until it completely replaces him. That's why the movie pays so much attention to physical details. You can see the split between Arthur and the Joker in the way that he moves and carries himself. Arthur is right-handed. The Joker favors his left. Arthur's tense, hunched over and unsure, while the Joker moves with ease and confidence. Arthur wants to follow the rules and be good. The Joker doesn't answer to any moral standard at all. When Arthur says his life is a comedy, he isn't wrong. Comedy comes from the clash between expectation and reality. And Arthur's entire existence is built on that contradiction. A child who's abused and neglected grows up still trying to do things right, only to be met with ridicule instead of kindness. Someone who has already suffered endlessly keeps being pushed further down. That's the joke. His life becomes a dark and cruel comedy that exposes how absurd it is for society to demand his function normally, while denying him any real help. Then act in surprise when he finally breaks. Later on, Arthur gets ready for a spot on the Murray Franklin show. He dyes his hair green and begins applying his makeup, fully stepping into the new version of himself, where he feels completely free. When the doorbell suddenly rings, standing outside are Gary and Randall, two former co-workers who came by after hearing about Penny's death. But it quickly became clear that Randall isn't there out of concern. He's nervous because the police are questioning the clowns, and Arthur still has the gun. Fed up with the fake sympathy and self-interest, Arthur snaps and kills Randall. Gary's left frozen in fear, certain he's next. Instead, Arthur calmly tells him he can go, the only one who never made him feel like an outsider. And Arthur remembers that. This moment makes it clear that Arthur's downfall was avoidable. He wasn't born destined to become what he is, with real empathy, support, and compassion, a more human interaction. Proper mental health care and simple respect would have changed his path entirely. Arthur lets Gary live because he had never made him feel invisible or out of place like someone who didn't belong. And that's all Arthur ever really wanted, to be recognized, to belong, and to be treated like a human being. Afterward, Arthur finishes getting dressed, steps into a new suit, and heads out, dancing as he goes. Now, those steps that first seemed so difficult to climb are the descent into madness that Arthur enjoys dancing with grace and carefree freedom. Almost in the first glimpse of the film, we see a very dejected Arthur climbing some stairs. In this scene, we see pain. We see the effort it takes for Arthur to be accepted in that gesture of climbing those long stairs. This generates him a dejection, a weirdness, and above all, a sadness represented by the darkness of the scene. Interestingly, the next descent of stairs that we see Arthur take, which stems from a dream, is a comfortable descent that symbolizes acceptance by the world around him. People applaud him, and his idol embraces him. That is his dream, and that is his desire to achieve it. The next moment that relates to this element is seen after the train shooting, where Arthur Flex coldly shoots the last man who had harmed him, precisely on the element that now symbolizes transition from death and violence, as well as that scene we talked about before, after sending his co-workers to hell. Thus, the final leap remains painful and abrupt, and it is in this moment that he realizes his mother's problem, and the life she invented. Here again, the colors, the red and the yellow, violence and madness, both in his clothes and on the walls, two colors that are very present throughout the film. And now this is a spiral that cannot be stopped. A descent into the darkest part of himself that can no longer be halted, and that he alone can now embrace. And the best scene in the film occurs right after his abrupt pause. in which the self that embraces madness, and consequently Arthur Fleck finds freedom. If at the beginning of the film we saw him struggling to climb these stairs, doing this work to fit in, now everything is much easier. He's found his place and his identity and the way to be himself, while at the same time society's accepting him. It's ironic that the moment when he's least concerned about being just another face in the crowd and fitting in is the moment when he has the greatest impact and has the most followers. Now, there's a light, there's color, and he dances. But he's interrupted when the police start chasing him. He enters a subway, which is full of people wearing clown masks. On his way to the protest, this confuses the police and allows him to escape undetected. The film continues using public transportation to show how now he's no longer a stranger. His image has been back to the people in the city. The train car that symbolizes city and society is now his. It is at this point where it's society itself that now saves him from the student citizens who are after him. Obviously, comparing to the first scene where he gets beaten up, the true image of Arthur fits into a society and exchanges it for something better, or for something different in which he feels a part of, or even a leader. The Joker now sees how ironic it is that the police are beaten for following the rules, just like what happened to him. Arthur finally makes it to the studio. While he's waiting in the dressing room, Murray comes in and asks him to keep things calm, to not turn the appearance into some kind of statement. Arthur reassures him and makes him one simple request. He wants to be introduced as Joker, the same name Murray once used to laugh at him on air. Soon after, Arthur is called out to the stage. He walks in dancing, completely owning the moment. He tries out a joke about death, but the audience doesn't laugh with him. They laugh at him, then everything shifts. Arthur openly admits that he was the one behind the subway murders and starts talking about how broken the system really is. He calls out the outrage over the deaths of Wayne's employees, pointing out that if someone like him were killed, no one would care at all. Society, he says, is cruel. People have lost the ability to empathize. Arthur turns on Murray next, accusing him of being part of the problem. He says the only reason why he was invited onto the show was to be ridiculed. Pulling out his gun, he delivers his final joke, asking what happens when a mentally ill, isolated person is abandoned by a system that treats him like trash. The answer comes immediately as she shoots Murray on live television. The entire city watches it as it happens. Chaos erupts in the streets as protests explode everywhere. Arthur is arrested, but on the way to the station, an ambulance driven by rioters slammed into the police car, knocking him out. The protesters pull him free and lift him onto the hood of the wrecked vehicle. He's surrounded by cheering faces. He stands and dances, fully embraced by the crowd. At the same time, Thomas Wayne and his wife are leaving the movie theater. A protester follows them into a dark alley and shoots them both, sparing only their son, Bruce, who is left alone, giving a rise to the Dark Knight, and that Arthur is admitted to Arkham Asylum. In the end, Joker isn't just a story of a man who snaps. It's a story of a man who's slowly, repeatedly pushed until there's nothing left to hold him together. Arthur doesn't become a monster in a vacuum. He's shaped by neglect, cruelty, and indifference. A system that fails him at every moment where compassion could have intervened. Instead, the world responds with ridicule and silence. It is the result of countless small wounds that pile up until a single day becomes unbearable. The Joker says it just takes one bad day to reduce the sanest person to madness. Arthur's story twists the idea even further. His life is made up of nothing but bad days, but it's still that final one, that day where every illusion collapses at once, that completes his transformation. When hope dies, when even the idea of being loved or understood is taken from him, what remains is the Joker, not born from chaos alone, but from a world that has offered no mercy and chose not to care. No one is exempt from anything. Arthur could be you or someone you know. If Arthur had been given another chance at work, if he had a friend who cared about him, if society had understood that he had a mental illness and that doesn't make him inferior in any way, it probably wouldn't have all ended in tragedy.
Don't you love it when he just pops up?
I feel like I've known you for years. Maybe we knew each other in another life.
But Mrs. Doubtfire, which tells the story of a devoted father going through a painful divorce who pretends to be a 60-year-old woman in order to spend more time with his kids, holds a special place in my kid memory because not only was Williams operating at just peak goofiness, it also gave me a glimpse into his more dramatic and vulnerable side.
I have to be with my children. It's not a question, really. I mean, I have to be with them, sir, please.
But I feel like a lot of people, myself included, might have overlooked how important Sally Field was in this film. Like when you have the supernova of Robin Williams dominating the screen, It can be easy to lose track of her character, but her seriousness gave both the comedy and drama of the film the weight it needed.
She brought out the best in them. She brought out the best in you.
And you.
Using behind-the-scenes footage, some books, and retrospective interviews from the cast, I want to take a deeper look at this unlikely comedic duo and how each performance complemented the other to make a truly memorable and, in my opinion, perfect timeless comedy. Let's break down the rich, collaborative acting of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Thank you for being here today with us, you, me, whoever we are.
Oh, God, we will come back later then. This has been quite lovely. God bless you.
We'll be right back with a live interview with Charlton Heston and his hair. I mean, there have been so many movies that have come to me, but they're all like, they come prepackaged, ready to go. You're either in or out. So this way, you can find a film and say, if it isn't completely ready to go, you can work on it, and work on it till you think it's ready to go.
Mrs. Doubtfire is unique in that it's the first film that Robin Williams produced under his production company, Blue Wolf. His wife, Marcia, read the book it was based on, and she had a good enough eye to realize that it would be just a great vehicle for Robin.
I looked at things at that point more in terms of the range that it would require of Robin as an actor. And I figured that, we could make the rest work around that.
She just thought it would be a great idea for me to play that character. I mean, just the comedy potential, so that was incredible.
They took the script to Chris Columbus, and they really took their time nurturing it and rewriting it until they were happy. The logical next step was, what is this character, Mrs. Doubtfire, going to look and sound like?
Could you make me a woman?
As with any role involving heavy makeup and prosthetics, the creation of a character really begins once you see and feel yourself in the full get-up. And so, the Oscar-winning team behind the makeup got to work and did some tests, which offer a fascinating glimpse into Robin's process as he kind of feels out the character's physicality and voice.
Oh, pardon me, it's riding. Well, I could try almost up in best. If you want, just a little bit like that would be quite lovely. And then we'll put a little Scottish in there too, and then you have almost a wonderful problem mix-up where you don't know where the hell I'm from, do you?
Accent's a little kind of muddled.
Really? Well, so's your tongue.
By this point, Robin had tried a few other voices that he just didn't feel worked.
I first started doing the voices.
Very much like that! Juliet, time! And I realized that would scare even a
Accents muddled, so's your
Julia
tan.
Child presents the Chicken Sisters. Miss Bryland,
Jeez.
Miss Fryer, Miss Roaster, Miss Capenet, Miss Stewart, and old Madam Hen.
He also mentioned it initially had echoes of ex-UK Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher.
I wonder what the right honourable gentleman's policy is in view of some of the things he said.
No, sure, it's time to go to bed. Now, don't be go to bed and Mommy's gonna fire a cruise missile. No, it's just...
Eventually, he landed on the voice we all know, which was a combination of two people he had worked with. For tone, he drew inspiration from Mrs. Doubtfire costume designer Merritt Allen.
There was a costume designer named Merritt. She had a very soft voice like this. Very sweet voice.
As for the accents, well, that came from Bill Forsyth, a Scottish director he had just worked with on his previous film, Being Human. And he actually did a Scottish accent in the film. It was a little bit of an impersonation of Bill Forsyth. It kind of sounds like a deeper-voiced Mrs. Doubtfire.
I think it's jazz, easy, jazz.
No, I don't want your word for home. I want you to say mine.
And then I slowly but surely kind of took a little bit of Bill Forsyth and a little bit of this costume designer with this wonderful sweet lady named Merritt, and combined them and got this gentle, gentle voice of Mrs. Doubtfire who can still say, "Get away!
Don't fuss with me.
Another fun thing these early makeup tests reveal is Robin's comedic mind at work. This is always fun to watch. He's in the costume, he's feeling it out. He's already coming up with bits that would work in the film.
It'd be great to see him sitting at home one day. Kids aren't there. He's watching a game. Come on! Do it!
Oh, hello.
This would be great when the guy tries to mug him. He should just say, "Don't even think about it. I'll hit you so hard you have to fart to find your teeth."
I'm very sorry.
Or maybe he becomes Mrs. Ostenskaya. They say, "No, do it!"
Oh, don't start me off. I feel so excited here.
When it came time to shoot, director Chris Columbus soon realized the obvious. He should let Robin explore each scene for maximum comedic potential. And if you haven't seen these special features on the DVD of Robin just rapid fire trying different things in each take, just do yourself a favor and watch a master at work.
I have a lot of patience with children, but if they get uppity, here's what I do. Mix a little lemonade with a lot of bourbon, and they just drop like sheep on a summer day. Back to the drawing board, Bubba.
This is something Columbus had never done before, or since for that matter, but it made sense for this film.
I was always very much into storyboarding and planning each shot and doing it in 2 or 3 takes and moving on. And then when I did Doubtfire, it was a whole new way of looking at filmmaking. I don't think I've ever gone back to doing a film like that. Part of it is really painful, I have to say, because it is exhausting. I'm sure Ron would be the first person to tell you it was exhausting. But it is exhausting, and you have to question yourself when you're shooting so many different versions, how the tone of the entire piece is going to be affected. Because if you do push it too far comedically in one direction, then the dramatic sections of the film won't work.
Also, just a wild side note, because of all the different takes used, there were apparently 7 different cuts of Mrs. Doubtfire, including an NC-17 version.
Don't kiss me.
The NC-17 version is the best. It is the funniest. It's
a bit rough.
But we knew that our audience would be diminished.
Oh, God.
Columbus also learned early on that he needed to have a lot of cameras set up for reaction shots, right? Since Robin would do something different every time, it was important to try and capture genuine reactions from the actors who were witnessing whatever madness Robin had come up with.
We could never duplicate their reaction to the first time they saw Robin do something, so it was kind of reality TV and filmmaking combined. It is a documentary of exactly what was going on the set.
And also, this is something we've touched on before with Jim Carrey as the Grinch and Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun, but it's still worth mentioning that just the raw stamina needed to do a character like this, after being in the makeup chair for hours during the day. Like, Robin had to just sit there. He watched movies. I don't know what movie this is, by the way. It looked like maybe an old Hitchcock movie. It looked like Rebecca, but I'm not sure. Leave it in the comments if you know what movie Robin Williams is watching. But he had to sit here for hours at the beginning and end of the day and still have, the stamina to do Mrs. Doubtfire and all these improv takes. It's nuts to me.
I think on a good day it would take 3 hours, 3.5. Bad day, 4 hours, 4.5.
We knew we had to get it down from there because they wanted to be able to shoot with him for at least 10 hours a day. So if it took us 4 hours to get him ready and an hour to get him out at night, that was going to make for a very long day for Robin. So the more we did it, the faster we got.
But man, that makeup was impressive. So much so that actor Matthew Lawrence, during his screen test, didn't even know it was him.
I didn't know it was Mrs. Doubtfire or Robin. I just thought, well, kid like the social worker, the teacher, something. But and they introduced me, I was like, oh. And it wasn't even, the makeup wasn't even really done yet still. Still in its first stages, and it was really amazing then.
It's also worth mentioning that when Robin was playing Mrs. Doubtfire, he simply stayed in character as her. I mean, it made sense that on his call sheet, there was a 1 for Daniel Hillard, and then a 1A for Mrs. Doubtfire.
He was Mrs. Doubtfire 100%. I mean, it wasn't Robin Williams. I forgot about Robin Williams, actually. I only saw Robin Williams once when he poked his head around the door one morning and said, "Good morning." I was like,
You're back.
"Oh, Jesus, there's Robin Williams."
I remember you, I don't know.
The terrorists, they ran that way. It was a run by Fruity. I'll get them, sir. Don't worry.
Again, this film was all about finding that delicate balance between comedy and drama. And it didn't shy away from dealing with the not-so-funny side
Not
of
extravagant,
divorce and
pretty
being a
mid-tier.
parent.
Why can't you just pretend?
To be what, honey?
Pretend to be Mrs. Doubtfire and pretend to be Pudgy the Bird and all those other things.
Mrs. Doubtfire is one of those movies I need to get on Blu-ray. I think it's like $12 or $13 on Amazon.
We probably could.
So eventually.
We'd still be a family.
Yeah, we would be. But we'd be a pretend family, Gotten so many letters from people all over the world saying thank you for talking about this, from men, but also from women saying thank you for showing that it is, that there's another way, that you don't have to use children as like little hostages to somehow seek vengeance on each other, to try and say, even though you don't work out, that you still have a responsibility as a father.
When I think about it, I'm pretty sure this was the first film I had ever watched that had anything to do with divorce. Not counting, there were some episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark, maybe.
Andy Carr wasn't doing so hot. His folks got divorced and his mom wasn't making much money.
There were at least 2 episodes that started off with like some kid moving into a new spooky place because their parents broke up. After my folks split up, I moved into this haunted apartment. That's when things got really weird. Anyway, this speaks to Robin's different talents as a producer. It was a conscious decision from Robin and Columbus that the parents don't stay together in the end. And Columbus had personally seen his parents go through divorce, and Robin had gone through a divorce years prior, so all of that informed them wanting to paint this nuanced ending that didn't tie everything up in a neat bow.
There was a lot of pressure that the family should stay together, that they should get, the marriage works out, which most family therapists would say is the most dangerous thing to do to a child if you're going through a divorce or a separation. And that's kind of the idea of how do you get through that? How do you get through it with a, dignity and for the most important thing, for the sake of the children. Because children will adapt, but it's the idea of leaving them in this kind of either a fantasy or another zone. That's kind of bad.
I actually don't think people would have responded to the movie as positively if we copped out and did that, And it really became a philosophy. I've seen a lot of divorce in my own family, and I always felt that the kids, the products of divorce, the kids who were in these situations always felt not only that they were responsible, but that for some reason that I hated to hear the marriage was a failure. That to me was always like, just time ran out and things moved on and people changed. And that was a bit of the philosophy of the film, which was it's okay. My favorite part of the film is the final little voiceover by Mrs. Doubtfire.
But if there's love, dear, those are the ties that bind. And you have a family in your heart, forever. Oh, they're a spirited bunch.
Yes.
Especially that lady, she's got daggers for you.
I know. They're very upset with me right now.
Probably the divorce.
Now, as important as Robin's talents were to both the comedy and drama of Mrs. Doubtfire, it would have all just been lost in a void had it not been for the perfect straight man, or woman, rather, to play his beleaguered wife, Miranda.
Do you speak English?
I am Job.
I'm sorry, the position has been filled.
I am watching.
I'm not sure if people fully appreciate how good of a comedic foil she was to Robin, and how good she was at upping the dramatic state.
Watching video essays and stuff. The acting choices that made Mrs. Doubtfire timeless. It's about 7 minutes left to it. Acting choices that made Mrs. Doubtfire timeless. This was done by the Back Focus. It was posted a day ago and it's got 59,000 views. Crazy. But some of these behind the scenes thing I've never seen. I didn't know that Robin Williams sat down with the director, Chris Columbus, in 2007 and talked about, yeah, maybe there's some like behind the scenes on the Blu-ray or something. Mrs. Doubtfire, I think, is between $12 and $13 on Blu-ray on Amazon. But if I'm gonna have to watch movies and insert a disc instead of trying to stream something, I have to stream it on my TV now because gaming is back set up to my desk. And same with movies too. But all I do is I just put my headphones on and then do it that way. But yeah, that's what I'm watching.
Something Columbus felt was important from the very beginning.
Sally is the actress with the most likable quotient I can imagine. She's an amazing actress. She is equally adept, like Robin, at comedy and drama. She can also keep up with Robin, which is very important. And she also, which is key to the picture, is likable to everyone in the theater. So no one dislikes Sally Field because of who she is. So you utilize her, what she brings to the picture in the character of Miranda, and she very much rounds out the character, and I think that's important.
Even as early as the screen tests, you can just see everything working like crazy. She's just so natural in the way well, I mean, she's present and she's just throwing him questions that he would have to react to on the spot. And it's like a perfect little wall to bounce improv ideas off of.
In case of medical emergencies, I know CPR, the Heimlich, all forms of self-defense, if the children need to know that too.
Oh,
I can, if necessary.
I know
And,
self-defense.
have you had to perform a Heimlich maneuver or
once it was,
someone was choking?
yes, on a piece of calamari.
And by the way, I rewatched the film before making this video, and I have to say that the biggest laughs for me come from Sally Field's reactions to Robin Williams. To this day, the part I laugh at the most is her flustered reaction to the big reveal at the end.
Dang!
The whole time.
Oh my God! Oh my God! The whole time, the whole time, the whole time.
She knew that she had to hold the center sometimes in order for the comedy to work. And then she knew when she could break out and do it.
Did you feel any desire?
Never.
Never.
Never again.
And what makes these reactions funnier to me now is knowing that Sally Field in real life did not find Robin Williams funny in any way.
It drove him mad, actually, because I would never laugh, ever. And everybody else was laughing and carrying
You were
out.
too professional for that.
It wasn't funny.
Mr. Hiller, do you consider yourself humorous? There was a time when I found myself funny. But today, you have proven me wrong. Thank you.
And you know what? For the first time, I considered what it must have been like to be around Robin when he was on for hours at a time. And if I'm being honest with myself, it does sound exhausting. To the point where I began to wonder if the people interviewing him for the film were annoyed that he was taking up their 5 minutes to do like a Ross Perot impersonation.
Now, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Hold it right there. Let me finish. Ross Perot, not just let me finish.
Stop it.
I'm gonna
Stop. Okay, stop doing Ross Perot. Can she ask another question? Stop it. Stop, please.
Well, first thing I want to know is why there are no genitals on that statue. There's nothing on there. Ain't nothing.
It's funny watching Sally Field talk about it now compared to when she was interviewed on the set. Like, it probably, it's not a good idea to tell the BTS crew that your co-star is annoying you every day. So, I don't know if I'm reading too much into it. It seems like she's trying to hide how much of an annoyance he was. Like, she's having a little migraine talking about it.
It's just so much fun. You never get bored, ever. You really just have to stay alive because you don't want to, have to have stepped on where he was going, when he takes flight. You want to be able to see where he's going and not interfere or get in the way or... But after a few years, everything just stopped being funny.
Anyway, this is one of the situations where art kind of imitated life in a way, because Field was supposed to be playing a character whose husband's antics simply didn't amuse her anymore.
I didn't like who I was when I was with him. I would turn into this horrible person. I didn't want my kids growing up with a mother like that.
I don't care how cute and furry you are with playing with the kids, you leave the house a mess and you can't hold down a consistent job. And part of the frustration came from Robin wanting to do all those takes. I'm sure she knew that on some level that part of the reason the final film would work so well is for Robin's endless exploration. But, it still annoyed her.
The movie was completely exhausting, but Robin never quit. We would do a take 1, 2, and 3. We got it. It's all done. Perfect. Done. Except Robin would go, wait a minute. Let's try. How about if I come to the kitchen window this time? Okay, let's try that. Okay, next time I'm gonna pop out of the refrigerator. You didn't know I was in there. Robin, that doesn't make any. So he just went on and on and on.
And this isn't to say that they didn't get along. Like, it was still a positive experience.
He was wonderful, and he also would come to my little rented place, and we played the early games of Zelda together. Zelda, the computer game that I still play, now with my grandsons. Even when my grandsons aren't there, I pretend they're there. I play them. Do you play Zelda?
No,
Oh, what the hell is the matter with you?
I wonder if she's played the new ones for the Switch. So I've tried getting into them. Like, I've played them, but the format of the game is so different from the, like, I miss the progressive beat dungeon, get item formula. No, I like them, but I don't know. I haven't sat down and really. Mrs. Field, if you're watching, which I know you are, let me know what your favorite Zelda game is. Mine is Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. If you haven't tried it, you should. So, Sally Field, again, if you're watching, which I know you are, let me know what you think of Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. I also love this story that made the rounds recently. When they were getting ready to shoot the heart-wrenching courtroom scene near the end of the film, Sally had just lost her father that morning to a stroke, and she just tried to soldier on and do the scene anyway.
So please, don't take my kids away from me.
I went on the set, and we're doing this scene about the kids being taken away from the father. It was what happened to my father. I was the divorced child, and I'm doing the scene, and Robin at one point pulled me over to the side. He said, Sally. I said, yeah. He said, are you all right? I said, yeah, why? He said, I don't know, I just wanted to ask. And I started to cry. I said that my father just died, and I was the one to say, go ahead, let him die. And I started to cry, and Robin turned around and said, that's it for the day, guys. We're just wrapped here. We're done for the day. You can get a few shots of the kids and maybe one of the staff are, but Miss Field's going home. And he walked me out, and that was Robin.
In the end, we had two actors that had personal baggage invested in their roles, and really just their personalities invested in the roles, to the point where they had chemistry, but at the same time they didn't comedically, which worked like crazy. It's just really cool. And I always enjoy doing videos like this because it gives me a chance to go back, rewatch some of my favorite films, and learn more about the process behind the making of them. And hey, if you guys out there watching,
I've been cursed, I've been crossed, I've been beaten by the ones that get me off. I've been cut, I've been dumped out, I've been shattered by the ones I thought I loved. You left me here like a chalk outline on the sidewalk, waiting for the rain to wash away, wash away. You keep coming back like the scene in The Crown, and you against me, cause I left the same way. All you left behind is a chalk outline. I've been caught in the cracks, not as one calls the words across your lips. You'll be sorry, baby, someday. When I let you cross the bed, when I'm dying slowly. You left me here like a chalk outline on the sidewalk, waiting for the rain to wash away, wash away. You keep coming back to the scene of the crime, and so I can't speak, nothing left to say. All you left behind. All you left for the rain to wash away, wash away. Keep coming back like the scene of the crime, and the time can't speak, it's nothing left to say. All you left behind is a troubled mind. Not trying to be deep, not trying to be cruel, not trying to be merciless. Not trying to be deep, not trying to be cruel. Just try to be endless. Tell me, who are you? Can you feel all the wind is? Can you feel it through all of the windows inside this room? It's I wanna touch you, baby. I wanna feel you too. I wanna see the sunrise and the sense of me and you. Light it up on the moon. Let's make love tonight. Make it up for love. Try. Baby, I'm right here. But you never be alone. With you from dusk till dawn. With you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. I'll hold you when things go wrong. With you from dusk till dawn. Baby, with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. You shut up like a jacket, so do yours now. From Memphis, feel the wind is, feel it through windows. So as I wanna touch you, baby, I wanna feel you too. I wanna see the sunrise and the senses, me and you. Light it up on the run. Let's make love tonight. Make it up for love. Try, baby, I'm right here. But you never be alone. With you from dusk till dawn. With you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. I'll hold you when things go wrong. With you from dusk till dawn. With you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. Give love to your body. Let's get down, let's get down, let's get down. Let's get down, let's get down to business. Let's get down, let's get down to business. Give you one now, not get this. We've had a million nights like this. So let's get down to business. Mama, please don't worry about me. I'm problem, I outspeak. My friends keep telling this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. If you now get this. We've had a million nights like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one now, get this. We've had a million nights like this. So let's get down to business. Back and forth with bullshit. And I know I said it before, I mean it. It's been a while since I had your attention. So I might have to hear this. Dreams we have never fall away. We can't live we stay the same. I can't do this for another day. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. If you wanna get this, it's like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one business. Let's get down business. Give you one get this. It's like this. So let's get down business. Let's get down business. Give you one get this. It's like this. Let's get down business. Let's get down business. Give you one get this. It's like this. So let's get down business. Whew. inside sunset drift, and I'll hold on tight. Not enough to hold you back. Feel like now is spinning out of space. Spinning out of space without you. It's really such a lonely place without you. I wish that we can save today, but I know you can't stay the same. But I keep pushing you away. Don't wait for me, don't wait for me. I'm in such a lonely place without you. I'm in such a lonely place. And I love the lightning, but hate the rain. Tomorrow's frightening, but not today. Wish I could slow down time. Not enough to slow you down. Feel like spinning out of space without you. The universe an empty place without you. Wish that we could save today, but I know we can stay the same. But I keep pushing you away. Don't wait for me, don't wait for me. I'm in such a lonely place without you. Such a lonely place. Falling faster, we can fly from golden seconds on Sunset Drive. I wish that we could save today, but I know we can stay the same. Keep pushing me away. Don't wait for me, don't wait for me. I wish that we can stay the same, but I know we can stay the same. Keep pushing you away. Don't wait for me, don't wait for me. I'm in such a lonely place without you. I'm in such a lonely place. There you go. Take my shot. I haven't listened to this in a long time. I did listen to it, but it's kind of like a B-side Ozzy Osbourne song. Lay your world on me. don't deserve the love you gave. But now I'm telling you I'm here. If you need a friend, give me pain, give me your anger. Let me be a rock, I can be the pillar of strength that you need. I hope you keep it all together. It's better late than never. Lay your arms on me. I can take the weight. Don't let it twist you up inside. Time never fails to make the heartache stop. You gotta let those feelings go. And I'll give you everything I can if you say the word. Give me pain, give me your anger. Let me be a rock, I can be the pillar of strength that you need. Help me keep it all together. It's better late than never. Lay your arms on me. I can take the weight. We'll laugh and we all cry. We all hurt the same inside. We all fall down, lose faith in who we really are. But if we bend instead of break, the choice of us is living together. Lay your wounds on me. Together, it's better than never. Lay your arms on me. 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 I can take the weight. Maybe I should try and do a cover of that sometime. I thought this would be a lot harder. I don't even know what. Could be in half step down. I'm in half step down, but. Someone told me love would all save us. How can that be? Look what love gave us. World full of killing and blood spilling. Never came, and they say that hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. I'll fly up on the wings of the eagles, watch as they all fly away. Hey. Now that the world hasn't ended, it's love that I'm speaking to you. It is the love of the hero. That's my friend. And they say a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. I fly about with the heroes, watch as they all fly away. Yeah, like Sean. Well, this is the high register. Let's hop on here. Yeah, for now, hey. Adrian. Thank you. I don't know, there's some. That's why there's been a little splurge or little at random people coming out of their cocoons and taking recognition for a little bit. Something sounds off here. Am I in tune? Yeah, but once I put a cape on it, you. Sure. All the way up here. Why is it? She says don't know twice. Don't know. Don't know. Do this on my own. What do you have to make of me? Yeah. Everybody hurts some days. It's okay to be afraid. Everybody hurts. That's not a tricky one. Standing on a bridge, waiting in the dark. I thought you'd be here, but no. Footsteps on the ground. And listen out, there's no sound. Isn't anyone trying to find me? Would somebody please take me home? It's a damn cold. Trying to figure out this life. Won't you take me by the hand, take me somewhere new? Don't know who you are, but I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm looking for a place, searching for a face. Is anybody here? I know. 'Cause nothing's going right, nothing's going right. Everything's a mess, everything's a mess. No one likes to be alone. Is anyone trying to find me? Is anyone gonna take me home? And it's a damn cold night. Trying to figure out this life. Won't you take me by your hand, take me somewhere new? Don't know who you are, but I'm with you. Why is everything so confusing? Maybe I'm just out of my mind. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Time cold night, trying to figure out this life. Hey man, tarnished. I try. Actually, this is my first time I've picked up my acoustic guitar in like 6 days, I think. Better than me. After all the lives I made you believe, kill kicks and start to see the edge of the bed where your knockout used to be. Oh, I told myself I won't miss you, but I remember what it feels like beside you. I really miss your hair and my face, everywhere my innocence takes. And I think you should know that you deserve so much better than me. I'm looking through the old box of notes, those pictures I took you were looking for. Is there one memory I don't want to lose? The time at the mall, me, you, the dressing room. Oh, I told myself I won't miss you, but I remember what it feels like beside you. I really miss your hair in my face, everywhere innocence takes. And I think you should know that you deserve so much better than me. Closure, closure. There's got to be a different version of this that I was looking at. So, what the fuck? Oh, okay. Oh, up to that bridge. Da, 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 da. To the chorus and that other bridge. I told myself I miss you, but I told myself I miss you, but I remember what it feels like beside you. Really miss you in my face, only an innocence takes. And I think you should know that you deserve so much better than me. But mine is getting colder. I wish I never really started over. I can't pretend. I won't think about you anymore, 'cause we never really had closure. This can't be the end. Really miss your hair in my face. Only told you I was hurt. Told you I was hurt. Told you I was hurt. I told you I was hurt. Bleeding on the inside. Told you I was lost. Told you I was lost in the middle of my life. These times I stayed alive for you. Times I run time for you. There's times that didn't matter at all. You helped me find the wrong way up. Let me take the wrong way down. Show me out. Let me take the long way around. Took the long road ahead. Take the high road out. Take a mistake you can't live without. Standing in the dark, I can see you shadow. You're the only one, you're the only light that's breaking through my window. There's still just a life for you. There's still a run inside for you. There's times that didn't matter at all. Help me find the right way up. Let me take this wrong way down. Show me out. Let me take the long way around. Take the long road, yeah. Take the high road out. This takes the mistake you can't live without. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh. Seems like every day is always the same now. Going through emotions, how about you? How about you? I've got no reasons I can't complain now. From comfort we gain, it's the chaos we lose. I've been thinking about the good times when the story was ours to write. All the stupid shit we do. I'm lucky I'm not dead after hanging around you. Always searching for a wild ride. Didn't matter when we just drive. Get high and die. I don't wanna go home tonight. Back in the day we tried to find a way out. On the one that's how I met you. I met you. Got no reasons I can't complain now. How about you? Comfort gain, it's chaos we lose. I've been thinking about the good times when the storm was us to right. Stupid shit we do. You killed the dead after hanging around you. Or leave. I'm searching for a wild ride. Didn't know when we just drive. Get high and die. I wanna go home. I miss the rush of those rides. Nothing to do with see the sunrise. I think I'm feeling, but only sometimes. Oh, I miss the thrill rush of those rides. Nothing to do but see the sunrise. still right. All the stupid shit we do. Lucky I'm not dead, I'm hanging around you. I was searching for love, right? To remember when we just drive. Get high tonight. I don't wanna go home tonight. I don't wanna go home tonight, tonight, tonight. What's that? Shine down. Creatures. Dun, 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 dun. What's that? Attention, attention. Shine down. Shine down. Double. What is that? I gotta listen to more Shine down here. Fuck. Devil. You can talk to me, then they whispering, the words are like kerosene. I don't know who I am, I don't know where I've been, place me in. I don't wanna be here, so I'm stuck inside. Tell me how long I've been here, losing track of time. All this loneliness, I know this emptiness, stuck inside this room like a prison sentence. Tell me there's a way, I'm not gonna stay high above it all. Victorious, victorious, far too long in cross. In hopelessness, I'm over this. Don't give up on me. Tell me you believe I am above it all. Victorious, victorious. Keep changes overnight. Heaven knows I tried. Here I go again. I need a savior now. Someone in a place I've always been. Don't wanna be forgotten when I'm dead and gone. Just wanna be the one who got up and came back strong. I am above it all. Victorious, victorious. I am above it all. And hopelessness, I'm over this. Don't give up on me. Tell me you believe I'm above it all. Victorious, victorious. this room with prisons in it. I'm not gonna stay. Tell me there's a way. I am above all. Victorious, victorious. Far too long across and hopelessness. I'm over this. Don't give up on me. Tell me you believe I am above it all. Victorious, victorious. Okay, thank you, Slash. My day is pretty, pretty mid-tier. Have you ever felt so alone and wanted to have it all? Maybe just wanted to run away with all the hardships of living. I got news for you. I felt it too. The sickness that leads to emptiness. You don't know what to do. Just please let me help you, yeah. Before this fucked up world tries to take you and me away. It's not easy trying to find the good in everything, but you will have food today. And I feel right, but I feel you'll be okay. Like unconsciousness is spinning. Now it's unending, 'cause I've watched myself fall. No, I don't want you to go at all. So release yourself to me. Let me help you take the pain away. And sometimes, baby, it's better to let you move on before it gets too late. Keep holding Probably should practice that in standard as well. This will never be, never be. showed me the way when I was so lost and lonely. But you never really showed me how to let you go. You're the one that wasn't supposed to lose. For a lifetime, have you for a lifetime? Do I talk to you? I want to talk to you. Have you for a lifetime? Have you for a lifetime? Never again. Never again. Will I ever see the only eyes that look right through me, feeling like a bullet right through me? Never again. Never again. Will I ever see the only eyes that look right through me? Have you for a lifetime? 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 You're the one that wasn't supposed to lose. Have you for a lifetime? Have you for a lifetime? Do I talk to you? I want to talk to you. Have you for a lifetime? Have you for a lifetime? Have you for a lifetime? Have you for a Hell is something you create yourself. All is right, all is well. There's no reason not to be yourself. Keep on. We're born in a universe full of explosions. Raised by the animal, chained to emotion. There's no reason not to have fun. One more trip around the sun. We're born in a universe full of explosions. Fear's just a feeling that can fade. Away, let it fade, let it go. Life is just more than emergency. Here now, seize the day. We're born in a universe full of explosions. Raised by the animal, chained to emotion. There's no reason not to have a little fun. One trip around the sun. Born in a universe full of explosions. Nothing but 100%. There's no stars, the grains of sand. So much we don't understand. Spinning on a rock. Access a key.
least human? What's the least human monster? An undead human that drinks blood and sleeps in a coffin? A half fish, half human with a shell bra that I...
This journey is part of the history experiment.
If there's a hero who inspires terror, anxiety.
Struggers, there are two things that people have been asking me to do. Struggers, there are two things that people have been asking me to do for the last 2.5 years. One is to put a dame like this on Spotify. If the moon and stars combined, they still could never shine as bright as that girl's smile. And the other is to make another Batman video. I'm gonna grant one of those wishes today. I'll let you guess which one it is. Imagine if I just titled this video totally the opposite of what I was actually gonna do. In 2019, we watched the first episode of the 1960s Batman TV show, and apparently y'all had a good time because people have been asking me to do another one ever since then, which is awesome because I had a great time doing it. So I think it's finally time to dive back in and see what's going on in Gotham City circa 1966. Our story begins at Woodrow Roosevelt High School in Gotham City.
3:09 p.m. Normal, healthy activity in the school gymnasium.
Why would you say it like that? I would have just assumed there was normal, healthy activity going. Now I kind of don't believe you. The gals are practicing cheerleading. The boys are absolutely bawling out. Robin's over here lifting weights with near perfect form. My goodness. They're all working very hard, so they want to hydrate, quench their thirst after a good workout, as you do. So you got options for really drink. Pretty much everything is on the table except for something like milk.
Anyone for a drink? Me.
No, you don't drink milk while you're exercising. Why do people keep trying to convince me to do this? They're sinners and Gotham City deserves to burn. So it turns out somebody, a hero, honestly, took the milk out of the machine and replaced it with silver dollars, which is epic.
A strange, disturbing bonanza from a gimmick milk machine.
I mean, it's it's strange and disturbing, of course.
Either of you men fear what I fear? The Joker? Exactly, Chief O'Hara, the Joker.
This feels more like a senior prank, okay? Why would you assume it's the Joker, Commissioner? Someone's been putting money in the milk machines. The work of a madman.
Yes, Commissioner. Prepare yourself for a blow. Someone has struck at Woodrow Roosevelt High. We think it's the Joker. Good grief.
The Joker? My gum, he's a maniac. What'd he do? Mangle a child in the shop glass van, son? Plant a bomb in the cafeteria? He took the milk out of the milk machine, Batman. That sick son of a bitch, I'm on my way.
Commissioner Gordon. Speaking.
Another machine has gone mad. In the library, instead of candy bars, it's dispensing negotiable stocks and bonds.
To put it mildly, student morale is cracking up.
Hey man, a candy bar is nice, but these kids gotta think about their future. But that's not how Batman sees it. He says that by giving the kids free money, it'll disincentivize them from working hard, and then that will in turn lead to a life of crime.
You'll quit your studies, become dropouts. You'll have no other recourse but to join criminal groups.
Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day? Teach a man to fish and he'll probably end up buying milk out of a vending machine. So I don't really know about that.
What's the crook's name?
I can do better than that. I can show you his picture. Here it is, everybody. The Joker.
Well, good God, am I reading this chart right? Is the Joker over 6.5 feet tall? Dude's an absolutely menacing figure. And he chooses to do this silly, like, trickster clown persona? Imagine the tall guy from It Follows, but he's got clown makeup on. Gotham is yours, okay? Take it.
Get a little closer, kids.
Hey!
Holy magician! Joker, what are you doing here? Oh, just passing by. I heard my name. To do what? Gimmick another innocent vending machine.
They keep referring to the vending machines as innocent.
Somebody got to that poor innocent machine and gimmicked it. Innocent vending machine.
A little puppy is innocent. It's such a weird adjective to use for a machine. So it turns out that the head cheerleader, Susie, is actually working for the Joker.
Ah, I see you have this stuff.
Of course.
Any trouble getting it?
No, like I told you, being chief cheerleader puts me on the student council. Once you're on that, you can get away with anything.
Maybe it's different at other schools, and you can let me know. But I was on student council in high school, and pretty much all we did was like design T-shirts for homecoming, and that's it. We had no power. We held no authority. Susie stole some test answers from the school's safe, which is sick. Does your school keep test answers locked away in a safe? That's what I would do if I had a school. They don't really explain that, but I'm sure it'll come up later. Let's see what Robin's up to.
X plus Y times X plus Y. Holy alphabet, what is it? With nationwide pre-college exams coming up in just 3 days.
Oh, I'm studying for a test. Curious.
Coming up in just 3 days.
I felt that cut in my bones. I didn't do that. Now it's edited into the show. Very drunk.
I didn't want to cause panic at that student meeting, but I think the Joker has some other dirty plan afoot as well.
Like what?
I think it involves gimmicked machines and Woodrow Roosevelt High.
You don't say? Not sure how you figured that one out, Batman. I suppose you are the world's greatest detective. That prompts Batman and Robin to go to the school to see if there's any trickery afoot, and they end up getting stuck in this trap. Clearly, it's a very good trap. There's no way for them to get out. Not in their wildest dreams could they escape from this. So the Joker obviously is the one that set the trap. He shows up and he takes them away, and he locks them in electric chairs. Look at this horrifying imagery.
Oh, they're waking up.
I'll speak to them through this trip microphone that disguises our voice.
Holy Las Vegas, where are we?
In a strange kind of game room, boy.
What?
They didn't change their voice at all. It literally just sounds like they're talking through an old PA system. Hold on.
Do you see the machine next to you? It's going to spin around. Manny.
It's the exact same voice. Ah, yes, I've hacked in and taken over Scott's video. And I'm not Scott. There's no telling who I could be. Probably a complete stranger that you've never seen before. But there's truly no way of knowing. So Batman and Robin are in the electric chairs, and they've rigged them up with these slot machines to do something wacky. Check this out. If the slots land on 3 oranges, then it'll set them free. If it lands on 3 Liberty Bells, it'll set them free and also give them $50,000 for some reason. But if it lands on 3 lemons, it'll hit them with 50,000 volts of electricity. Honestly disgusting. Can you believe what they're doing to these innocent slot machines? So just like that, in the blink of an eye, part 1 of this episode is over already. That's right, we've gotten through an entire episode that aired on TV in 1966, and maybe it's just me, I feel like we have no idea what's going on.
Close your eyes. Who cares to see it? Try us tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thankfully, we don't have to wait until tomorrow to see what happens, because we have this horrible miracle called the end. So let's continue on. So at the very start of part 2, Batman and Robin get wicked lucky because Gotham's entire power grid goes down, which is never explained, but good for them, I suppose. So they don't get electrocuted. They get rescued and then brought back to the police station. And it's revealed that apparently Batman has this like Big Brother privacy invader machine that can like listen to a recording of somebody's voice and then match it up with their real identity. Some serious Facebook vibes going on. I don't know if I trust Bruce Wayne with that technology, if I'm being honest. As long as he doesn't use it to try to sell me cookware or something, I guess it's not a big deal.
Will the anti-crime voice analyzer operate without power? Fortunately, Commissioner, the Batcave is equipped with an anti-crime auxiliary generator, which automatically compensates for any power failure.
Of course it does. So they use that machine to figure out that Susie has in fact been working for the Joker, which is bad news. Alright, so they gotta go take care of that now.
Today is a school holiday, isn't it? Why does that cute little trickster have to be hanging out?
Is he talking about Susie or the Joker? Either way, I don't know how I feel about that. They decide that Robin should go undercover as himself, Dick Grayson, to try to get closer to Susie and infiltrate the bad guys' mind to learn more about the Joker's plan. So he dresses up all badass to go talk his way in, and Batman gives him this spy camera to monitor everything from outside, and just watch where he puts it.
I assume, baby. How's tricks?
Bro. You couldn't have possibly been more suspicious with that.
So, what's the skinny on, like, the crime stuff or whatever? You guys know anything about that? I love crime, by the way. Do crime all the time. I don't know if you see I'm wearing this leather jacket. So I'm a little bit of a bad boy.
You're looking at a guy who's seen the light, Sue, baby. Who's the boyfriend?
Oh, my friends call me Nick.
So your name is Nick, then. Just say that.
My friends call me Nick. My mommy and daddy also call me Nick. My dentist calls me Nick. And my barber does as well.
So, how's the easy buck setup? Got any leads?
You know, he might be able to help us, Nick. He's a real super athlete.
How is that simple?
Tell me something I don't. You think I forgot about this incredible display of athleticism from before? Give me a break, Susie, babe. So Nick has caught on to the fact that Robin's putting up a front and being kind of sus.
I better pass this round. I already had 2 packs today.
So he gives him a bad tip on where they're gonna be later, committing a crime.
That's my tip. I'll see you around, huh?
Oh, yeah, you'll see me around. So long, Sue, baby.
Gee, Nick, what's the idea?
Why, you gorgeous, dumb hunk of cheerleader. You couldn't you see?
I'm gonna assume this high school girl is 18 years old and just move past that comment. You're on thin ice though, buddy, okay?
That guy is strictly a phony.
What do you mean?
Already had 2 packs today, huh? My blind grandmother could see. That guy never had a weed in his hand in his life.
He never drank a booze? Hell, he never even snorted a crack cocaine. Kid's a square, you sexy piece of ass.
So Batman and Robin go to that spot that Nick said they were gonna be at, and it's this little diner.
Right. Everybody, back at the bar. We gotta have room to throw our batarangs when the crooks come in for the loot.
That just sounds like something an overexcited preschooler would say.
Okay, everybody, back up. We gotta have room to throw that batarang. And also, I kind of have super strength too, so you might really want to back up. I might throw it all the way to outer space. I don't know.
Holy hailstorm. You know this is gonna happen.
Or something like it.
Okay, hold on. I gotta back up for a second. I didn't show this earlier, but in part 1 they showed this same diner getting robbed, and this is what happened. The gun came out of the jukebox and the henchman ran in and stole the money from the register. So you're telling me that since then, which at this point it was a couple of days ago that happened, the jukebox is still just there? The owner of the diner didn't think to, like, put it outside, at least? Also, Batman says that he kind of knew this was gonna happen.
You know this was gonna happen.
Or something like it.
So then why did he tell the customers that were in the diner to gather right in the gun's line of sight?
Everybody, back at the bar.
You're a lunatic, Bruce Wayne. A certified maniac.
The thing now is to save Susie.
Save Susie.
Work it out. Why would an undercover agent try to pump her?
Excuse. You don't need people trying to pump her, okay?
Because I knew she was one of the gang.
Right. And once they know that we know, that young lady's life isn't worth a plugged lollipop.
The 60s terminology is giving me whiplash.
Let's hurry, Batman.
Bartender, a bit of advice. Always inspect a jukebox carefully. These machines can be deadly.
Thanks. Joker gives Susie this special perfume for helping out with everything, but it turns out it's actually poison.
Poisoned?
And just listen to how casually they react to murdering her.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I saw him loading on a meat wagon from the city morgue. The boy wonder was bawling his head off.
Well, it had to be done by bed.
Good lord, these guys are ruthless. Alright, we finally arrived at the juiciest part of the show. This is where the plan all starts to finally come together. So apparently the Roosevelt High basketball team is really good. Like, super good. So much so that Vegas has the odds of them winning their next basketball game at 20 to 1.
Okay, fellas, let's knock it off before we go stale.
Well, we still got our razor sharp edge.
Yeah, we'll beat them by 50 points tonight. We'll do it for Susie, right?
They're pretty confident. And why wouldn't they be? I mean, they're phenomenal. Well, they all go to drink some milk before the game, as you do, apparently. But it's not milk that comes out of that innocent machine.
Good gosh! These are next week's nationwide pre-college exam papers. Oh, dear me. The chance to teach.
This is kind of the same way that the last episode worked out, where it's like the villain's plan isn't even like violent in any way. It's just like trying to get people in trouble.
See you in court.
Well, this matters because the Joker bet $50,000 that the other school was going to win this basketball game, and if you recall, the odds are 20 to 1 in favor of Roosevelt High. So now, with all of the stud players not able to actually play, the Joker stands to win
50 times 20, $1 million. Oh, how delicious!
tragic. If only someone would do something.
What on earth will the Cape Crusader say? Ball players, run for cover! Get down! Don't worry about having seen those exam papers. They're a fake.
We planted them.
We saved Susie's life by using the universal antidote pills in her utility belts.
Let's deliver the punchline.
Pennies, you're out of circulation. I've caught you cold.
I have a feeling that he probably suffered brain damage on that. He got a batarang right to the back of the head. Those things are heavy, man.
That's what easy living gets you, kids. Stick to your boss.
Yeah, if you drop out of school, I'm gonna crush your skull with a metal batarang. So it appears that Batman and Robin have once again thwarted the evil villain. Let's check in and see what happens with cheerleader Susie.
You've all been so nice to me. I can hardly bear it.
Heck, Susie, it wasn't all your fault. I mean, with your unhappy childhood and a broken home and everything. No wonder you fell for that crook's phony promises.
Holy Robin, chill. I'm not surprised you fell into a life of crime. Your entire life is just one meaningless string of disappointments. So wait, why were they so concerned about the money being in the vending machines earlier? And did the Joker end up going to jail, or is he still just unconscious at the school? Who won the basketball game, for goodness sake? There's so many unanswered questions.
Just be thankful that life is filled with unanswered questions, that's all.
Wow. Never thought of it that way. Okay. I guess the video's over. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time doing this. The Batman videos are up.
There's very few artists currently living who are more universally liked than Adele. She holds the record for the most Grammy wins for a British female. She sold over 120 million albums worldwide, with 21 being the best-selling album of the 21st century. But unlike most pop stars operating at that same level of fame, the people who release albums every 2 years and tour for months, this doesn't make Adele want to release more. It actually does the opposite.
I'm not tempted in the slightest by anything that like being famous has to offer. Like, it's really lovely and it's a great luxury to dip in and out of it and to experience it, and I'm forever grateful of that, but it ain't real. So I don't feel like you can get attached to something that's not real, so I'd rather live a real life and be a real person.
Adele is one of the only artists at her level who's genuinely, completely uncomfortable with being famous. Not in a, oh, it's so hard to be famous way, but in a genuinely, I don't like being famous way. She's cancelled tours and avoided paparazzi. She's gone dark for years at a time and said in interviews that she misses being anonymous more than almost anything. And yet, she keeps coming back. Not because she has to. She makes so much money from a 12-song album every 6 years that her record label genuinely can't tell her what to do, but because the music is the one part of all of this she actually loves.
Yes, I will be disappearing in terms of my music, but you might see a glimpse of me every now and then. I won't be in complete hiding, you know, but...
Do you disappear to, like, recharge?
Yeah, it takes me a while.
Yeah.
It really takes me a while. Like, you know, it takes me about 3 years, yeah, and then I've got to, like, rev myself up to go into the studio, and then it takes me a good year and a bit to finish an album. But yeah, like I said, I would like to maybe have more children, so it'd be up to them, you know, because I only just now feel like I've caught up on my sleep from 9 years ago.
Adele's dad left home when she was only 2 years old. She was brought up solely by her mom and moved around a lot with not a lot of money, government subsidised housing and different schools. But the two of them made it work, and Adele actually loved her childhood. Her mom made every move feel like an adventure, and all this moving around gave her plenty to write about later in life. Years later, After she became the Adele we know, her dad, a recovering alcoholic, sold a story to the Sun, telling them he felt guilty for not being there when she grew up. In response, Adele said, "I never knew my dad. He has no f***ing right to talk about me." She grew up listening to the Spice Girls, but everything changed when she hit 14 and discovered Etta James and Ella Fitzgerald in a record shop. She described it as an awakening after only knowing of chart music her whole life, and that awakening is what got her into the Brit School. She graduated from the Brit School in 2006 with classmates like Leona Lewis and Jessie J, but at the time she didn't even think about being an artist. She was more interested in being an A&R, someone to help others launch their careers. The Brit School is basically a factory for British musical talent, but her vocals were too good to be ignored, and she started making demos. XL Recordings discovered a rough version of Hometown Glory, and when Adele went into a meeting with them, she thought she was going to get a job helping sign other artists, but XL turned around to 18-year-old Adele and said, "No, we want to sign you." She started uploading songs, doing vocals for DJs and bands, and before she even hit 20, she'd already released the first album, been nominated for multiple awards, and signed to Columbia Records. But even early on, she struggled with the lifestyle. When speaking about live performances, she said, "I get scared. One show in Amsterdam, I was so nervous I escaped out the fire exit. I've thrown up a couple of times. Once in Brussels, I projectile vomited on someone. I just gotta bear it, but I don't like touring. I have anxiety attacks a lot." In 2008, she cancelled American tour dates to be with her boyfriend. "I was drinking far too much, and that was kind of the basis of my relationship with this boy. I couldn't bear to be without him, so I was like, well, okay, I'll just cancel my stuff then. I can't believe I did that. It seems so ungrateful." And obviously that's not a great professional decision, but it tells you a lot about where performing was in her priorities at the time. The tour could have felt like an obligation, but then again, the fear of performing might have been a big factor at the time as well. Still, she was nominated for 4 Grammys in 2009, winning 2, including Best New Artist. So when she released her second album, 21, in 2011, she was already a global name, rolling in the deep, Someone Like You, Set Fire to the Rain. The album took her to another level. It hit number 1 in 30 countries and spent 24 weeks at the top of Billboard 200 in America, the longest for any album in US chart history, but it was essentially therapy for everything happening in her life at the time, written almost entirely about a relationship that ended badly. But while 21 was making her the biggest artist on the planet, her body was saying no. In late 2011, she was forced to cancel 2 tours because of a vocal cord hemorrhage, the kind of injury that could end a singer's career permanently if handled wrong. She needed throat microsurgery and a period of complete vocal rest. She had the surgery in Boston in November, and then she sat in silence and waited to find out if her voice would come back the same way, and it did. At the 2012 Grammys, she was nominated for 6 awards. She won every single one of them. She became only the second woman in Grammy history after Beyonce to win all 6 nominations in one night. And that same year, she wrote Skyfall, a song she was initially hesitant to do, and one she was encouraged to do by her boyfriend Simon. She co-wrote it in 40 minutes, and it became the first Bond theme to ever win an Oscar for Best Original Song in 2013. Adele and Simon started dating in 2011 and had a son Angelo in 2012, but having a family in the public eye would be one of the early signs for Adele that she loved making music but hated being famous. Tabloids began reporting that Simon was married and had a daughter. Adele, being someone who wanted privacy above everything, ignored the rumours at first, but when they got out of hand, she had to come out and publicly deny them. In 2013, she received a 5-figure settlement after paparazzi published photos in the press of her 2-year-old son. She emphasised he wasn't public property, and while she was grateful for the press for their support in helping her reach international success, taking photos of her son's first trips to the playground or family outings was off limits, which I'd say is more than fair. Since the start of her career, Adele's always been grounded, a working class woman who made it to the top of the top. Her paparazzi photos have become staples in Britain, but all it really showed is she wasn't the typical stuck-up pop star. Considering she is one of the biggest pop stars on the planet, she doesn't enjoy this kind of life. I missed everything about before I was famous. I think probably being anonymous the most. I like that I get to make music all the time, whenever I want to, and people are receptive to it and like it. That's pretty unimaginable, but the fame side of it, I absolutely hate. Now, Adele might be struggling with the fame, but I am not. 40,000 subscribers is rookie numbers, so if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe to the channel. I upload shit like this every week, and if you're enjoying the video,
one of the most legendary comedies of all time? Or what if I told you The Hangover is one of the most legendary comedies of all time? Or what if I told you it almost never got made? Careers were on the line, crew members were dropping like flies during the filming, and one of the stars seriously considered walking away from acting altogether. But the craziest part, the version of the movie we got was never even supposed to exist. And once you see what actually had to happen just to get this movie made, it's almost impossible to believe it worked out. By the time it was greenlit, the studio clearly had zero confidence in it, which makes zero sense. Zach Galifianakis, Bradley Cooper, and Ed Helms all put on the performances of a lifetime.
It's also illegal.
It's not illegal, it's frowned upon, like on an airplane.
Pretty sure that's illegal too.
Yeah, maybe after 9/11, where everybody got some sensitive.
Bradley had done a sporting role here and there, but he viewed his career largely as a failure and was even considering walking away from acting altogether.
I want to talk about The Hangover, a junction in your career.
That's nicely put. Like, I was going to quit, and I wasn't really getting any other roles that were substantial.
Ed had done some small roles on The Colbert Report and The Office before The Office exploded. And literally nobody outside of his own family knew who Zach was. I say all this because star power is essentially a requirement for a movie getting made in the studio system. And the idea of releasing a mid-budget studio comedy with zero star power in 2009 was essentially unheard of. That alone should have been enough to kill this movie before it ever got off the ground. And yet they still kept pushing forward.
It was hard to get it made, and I understand why. Yeah. It's a comedy starring people that they didn't really know yet. And so, you know, it is a business, and I understood it.
It's easy to look back at this movie and think that its success was inevitable all along. Yet stars and mid-tier actors across Hollywood were turning it down left and right. Warner Brothers looked in all directions for star power, getting no's from Paul Rudd and Jack Black. And I'm pretty sure they both feel pretty dumb in hindsight for turning the movie down. They also looked elsewhere to the likes of Jonah Hill, Jake Gyllenhaal, and even Lindsay Lohan. And the hunt for star power was looking grim. But this was just the first red flag. Because to make matters worse, the director attached, Todd Phillips, looked like he was on the decline of his career. He had modest victories at the box office years ago with Road Trip, Old School, and Starsky and Hutch, but his most recent movie, 3 years prior, School for Scoundrels, was a flop of epic proportions. The movie only did roughly $24 million off of a $35 million budget. Accounting for the theater's 50% cut of all ticket sales, the studio only made roughly $12 million, or around 1/3 of its budget back. Like, this was the kind of box office performance that ruins careers, and in a lot of cases, it actually does. Yet somehow we're still not even done.
I know.
Because it was also around this time that studios started making less and less R-rated comedies, viewing them as too risky and opting for more PG-13 and family-friendly comedies, which meant this movie wasn't just risky, it went in the complete opposite direction of where the industry was going. When you put all of this in a blender, even in hindsight, I'm absolutely shocked that Warner Brothers greenlit a starless movie and was viewed as a dying genre to be directed by a guy whose most recent box office performance was one of the most epic failures of that century. But the story gets even worse. Because the reason why this movie did finally end up getting the go-ahead is the single craziest studio story I've ever heard. Because with all the pressure mounting, Todd Phillips didn't just offer to take a pay cut. He straight up said, "I'll take $0 up front, and you only have to pay me if the movie actually makes a profit." Warner Brothers said deal, and so the movie was set to be made with Todd Phillips earning a percentage of the movie's profit instead of a traditional salary. Pretty wild to think about that the only way Warner Brothers would actually make this movie was for the director to literally bet on himself. This really tells you all you need to know about how much faith Warner Brothers had in this film. They didn't believe in it at all. But there was one massive problem. The entire screenplay needed to be rewritten. So Phillips took matters into his own hands and rewrote the movie with Jeremy Gerlich.
They had a PG-13 script, but structurally it was very clever in that it started at the end. We did some severe, rewriting on it, and just getting it a little bit more R-rated and a little bit more crazy.
And as someone who's read the original script, I could say the two movies are literally night and day. Like, just to name a few things, the original script was PG-13. There was no baby, no tiger. Alan was essentially a normal person with a job and a girlfriend, and almost none of the iconic jokes from the film were in there. In other words, the classic that we all love was essentially nowhere to be found in its original script, which means the version we actually got was never supposed to exist. Yet somehow, after fixing the script, things got even harder. And I say this with nothing but respect and admiration for the original writers, Scott Moore and John Lucas. They've written some absolute bangers, including Four Christmases, and one of my favorite all-time underrated comedies, The Change-Up, while also doing unprinted rewrites on Wedding Crashers. They set up a really solid foundation and came up with a uniquely intriguing concept. It's just that a lot of the time, the greatest comedies have to change hands several times before becoming truly legendary. Oh, and Mike Tyson wasn't in the original script either. And apparently, he only did the movie to help fuel his addiction at the time. So after all the chaos it took just to get the movie made, and after the script was rewritten, Warner Brothers came in with yet another unfortunate surprise. They would only be given 15 days to shoot the movie. And for a movie as demanding as The Hangover, this was virtually impossible. This wasn't some simple sitcom-style comedy where they just set up a bunch of cameras and asked the actors to be funny. The movie features several different locations, action sequences, and having to work with a tiger and a baby, neither of which are particularly easy to maneuver. Comedy alone is arguably the most difficult genre to pull off. Now imagine having to do that under severe pressure. For reference, most studio films get 30 to 120 days, with 30 being an outlier. In comparison, Wedding Crashers had 52 days to film, and like 90% of that movie was just two people in a room talking, not spectacle driven, and incredibly difficult to shoot like The Hangover. By the time they were finally ready to film, The Hangover looked like a disaster waiting to happen. To make matters worse, it felt like the studio was actively working against them, so what came next was just short of a miracle. One benefit to this mess was that the movie was such an afterthought to Warner Brothers that the movie completely fell under the radar, and Todd Phillips had complete creative freedom.
I think we get left alone. I'm not doing Transformers 2, so I don't think we're getting bugged. I think, again, the same way we fly below the radar, it's tough to take when you go on the internet and you read things, so I just don't do it. And I think a lot of directors don't do it when the movie comes out. But I'm saying during the making, there's no problem because we had no stars in this movie, essentially.
And that ended up being the only thing keeping this movie alive. It should come as absolutely no surprise that the actual set of The Hangover was complete chaos.
If you came to my movie set, you would be like, the inmates are running the asylum. It doesn't really feel like your standard movie set. Half the time I'm God knows where the actors are. I mean, it's like a little bit of a mess.
Filming in Vegas created a whole separate layer of problems. If getting the movie made in 15 days in the scorching heat wasn't enough, try having to do that while also needing to regularly replace key members of the crew.
And a lot of distractions, and a lot of our crew guys couldn't handle it. I mean, we came up with that tagline on the set, which is some guys just can't handle Vegas. We had wives flying in and putting their husbands in rehab. And then we have a new crew guy.
And so its tagline, "Some guys can't handle Vegas," was born.
Yeah, some guys just can't handle Vegas.
Apparently allowing for a last-second rewrite because that line made the final film. On top of that, Ed Helms was barely even available, as he was scheduled to film The Office at the same time, and so he had to fly back and forth between LA and Vegas, juggling the characters of Stu and Andy. One question that comes to mind after learning this is, how did Ed maneuver his missing tooth between the two sets? In case you forgot, Stu has a missing tooth.
I can't. Oh my God.
But Andy doesn't. And this wasn't CGI.
That they did not have to use special effects in that scene?
Yeah, that's 100% real. I have an implant here. When we were shooting, I went to my dentist. Can we take this implant out temporarily? And he was like, yeah, we can do that.
So, like, did Ed get the implant put back in every time he returned to LA and then have it get taken out every time he returned to Vegas? If so, I sincerely hope that Warner Brothers was paying for that. With such a short shoot time and amidst all the chaos, the actors ran into another real issue, that they really didn't know each other prior to The Hangover. And in a character-driven comedy like this, it literally depends on chemistry in order for it to work. Put simply, the entire success of the film depended on these guys getting on the same wavelength in such a short period of time, with literally everything working against them. If they couldn't find a way to work it out, the entire movie would have fallen apart. But somehow they found a way to make it happen, because they found alternative methods to build chemistry, such as Zach and Bradley carpooling across the states together.
These guys now are great friends, but when Bradley and Zach drove from LA to Vegas together just to do things to have them connect.
Suffice to say, it wasn't just good enough. Their dynamic straight up created one of the greatest comedic ensemble dynamics of all time.
She is wearing my grandmother's ring. What? My grandmother's Holocaust ring?
They never give out rings with the Holocaust.
But what's really cool is that despite everything that was going on, they still found a way to have fun with all of it.
Insane and ridiculous, candidly unfair amount of fun working together and making these movies.
And thankfully they were able to, because this movie was really hanging on by a thread. A highlight for everyone was getting to work with Mike Tyson.
You guys hang around with Mike Tyson?
A little bit, yes.
I heard that when you invite him to a party, like if he's having a good time, he doesn't want to leave. No, because he's cool. He's the guy you want him to hang out. At least I felt that way. You want him to hang out.
As long as he's hanging out at the party, like, you're pretty psyched.
And Mike was apparently under the influence the entire shoot, which probably isn't ideal when you're in a race against time to get this movie made. Ed Helms even got to kiss Heather Graham, which he cherished deeply.
Who would think this guy would get to kiss Heather Graham? I can just say it was really hot for me, probably a lot less so for her.
And I can't blame him. I would too. Todd Phillips even got to make a cameo and reprise his role from Road Trip and Old School.
We're going up, guys.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And as small as that sounds, having fun on a comedy set actually matters a lot. I could say this as a director myself. The dynamic on set really sets the tone of the film. By the way, you can check out my directorial debut for free on Tubi, but a good on-set dynamic alone isn't enough. And this is what really separates the good comedies from the classics. Because as messy as the actual set was, they weren't treating the movie itself like a joke. Everyone's career was on the line with this movie, and they were as serious as you can get with the actual execution of the film.
What's really cool about Todd, if something's not awesome, we will stop. It doesn't matter how big the production is that day, how many moving parts there are, and we'll go off and we'll work on it.
It no doubt shows, as there's no movie I've watched more than The Hangover, because it's an absolute masterclass in both acting and directing.
Boy, you've got a sweet ride there.
Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. Go on, get out. Better walk on.
Which makes it almost impossible to believe what was actually going on behind the scenes. It's probably best that this movie set was completely forgotten about by the studio, because I'm pretty sure some of their executives would have had been hospitalized if they knew what was really going on. But just like that, after all the chaos, The Hangover was finally set for release. Would this end up being Hollywood's greatest accident, or yet another death blow, and possibly the final nail in the coffin for R-rated comedies? In order to give the movie the best possible chance for theatrical success, instead of using the traditional release strategy of Warner Brothers, Todd Phillips went back to the method that helped make Road Trip and Old School so successful.
You know, we do these word-of-mouth screenings. We've done 300 of them around the country. I've been to a bunch of them. The actors have been to a bunch of them, just doing Q&As after.
To say the test screenings went well would be putting things extraordinarily mildly. And this was the point where the entire story started to flip, because the studio began to look at the movie completely differently. The test screenings led to, hands down, the single most bizarre development of this entire story. Thanks to how well the test screenings went with both audiences and the studio, Warner Brothers didn't just shift their opinion on the level of the risk that The Hangover was. They did a complete 180. It got so extreme that Warner Brothers literally greenlit The Hangover Part 2 before The Hangover was even released. Just think about how insane that shift actually is. To put things in perspective, Warner Brothers was so hesitant on this movie getting made, to the point that the director had to forfeit his salary just to make it happen. And now all of a sudden, they were making concrete plans for a sequel before it even hit theaters. But the craziest part is that even with this new source of confidence, Warner Brothers still massively underestimated just how well the movie would do.
You know, Warner Brothers has this idea that your movie's going to do $100 million.
This movie's going to perform overseas. And everybody thinks it's not.
Because what was about to happen didn't just prove there was an appetite for this movie, it showed that this was actually the kind of movie everyone had been waiting for. That $100 million box office projection wasn't even half of what the movie would do domestically. And the thought that it wouldn't do anything overseas just couldn't have been further from the truth, as it did almost $200 million internationally, carrying over 40% of the total box office number, leading to an overall $468 million performance off of just a $35 million budget, over 13 times what the movie cost. And if this wasn't enough, The Hangover literally became the single highest grossing R-rated comedy of all time. And this is where it stopped feeling like a victory just for this movie, but sent serious signals to Hollywood that the kinds of movies they were making had to change. It's even the rare case of a comedy that actually performed well with critics, getting praise from the late and iconic critic Roger Ebert, who was infamous for hating on comedies, giving it 3.5 out of 4 stars, saying, "Now this is what I'm talking about. The Hangover is a funny movie, flat out, all the way through. Its setup is funny, every situation is funny, most of the dialogue is funny, almost line by line. At some point, we actually find ourselves caring a little bit about what happened to the missing bridegroom through, and the fact that we almost care is funny too. And it's not hard to see why. The movie is not only laugh out loud hilarious, but endlessly rewatchable.
This one? Nothing. Hey, there are skills in there!
This is really a case study Hollywood needs to revisit, especially with the R-rated theatrical comedies being viewed as the ultimate risk for the past decade. Maybe if you don't micromanage every decision and leave a great director to his own devices, the movie will actually perform. But this is where the story stops being about one movie and starts becoming something much bigger. Because what happened after The Hangover didn't just change a few careers, it completely reshaped how Hollywood thought of comedy movies. It went from Bradley Cooper feeling like a failure and seriously questioning his future as an actor, while Ed Helms was still just a somewhat recognizable face, and Zach was basically a complete unknown, to these guys suddenly not even being able to go out in public anymore. Because almost overnight, their lives were changed forever.
When you are a famous person, you just can't stand at baggage claim and expect it to be normal. An unknown person to a very, very well-known person literally changes reality. Like it changes how the world responds to you.
Is a big shift that's hard on the person you're dating, who ended up being my wife, your family. My family used to love it, and then they're like, oh God.
People just sit down at your table.
Oh, because they think they know you. It's an asymmetrical relationship.
I vividly remember when this movie came out. I was only 10 years old at the time, and my parents were really strict and wouldn't let me watch it. But even I knew who Zach, Bradley, and Ed were, both by face and by name. Like, that's how big this movie got. The movie completely took over our culture to the point that 17 years later, I can't think of a single comedy that had even 1/3 as much of an effect on society that The Hangover did. This kind of impact doesn't just happen for anyone, so it should come as no surprise that the phones of these newly turned movie stars started to ring and didn't stop. Because when a comedy like this is a hit, Hollywood doesn't just notice, it rushes to replicate the success. What happened next wasn't just about their careers, but what the movie unlocked. Immediately following the success of The Hangover, Zach would team up again with Todd Phillips for Due Date, which I'll say is one of the most unfairly hated on comedies of all time. Him and Robert Downey Jr. together absolutely kill it.
My father always had a saying, when a day starts like this, it's all uphill from here.
That's actually incorrect.
Well, my dad used to
Uphill?
say,
No, it's all downhill.
but everybody wants to be up, nobody wants to be down, so it's all uphill from
But
here.
it's easier as you go downhill. So your dad didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Hey, Shelby!
He would also do the comedies Dinner for Schmucks and The Campaign, which he also produced, while jumping into animated projects such as Puss in Boots and the Lego Batman movie. A lane he's stuck in as recent as last year with Lilo and Stitch. Bradley Cooper's allegedly failed career suddenly sang a different tune, both figuratively and literally, with A Star is Born, Silver Linings Playbook, and American Hustle. But Ed Helms saw the biggest success, jumping into animation too, with the lead roles in The Lorax and Captain Underpants, while still doing his fair share of R-rated comedies such as We're the Millers, The Vacation, and Father Figures. That's of course in addition to the 2 Hangover sequels that the 3 of them starred in, which were also directed by Todd Phillips. The craziest career transformation wasn't even anyone in the cast, but instead the director. Because he went from box office liability to the Hangover trilogy, Due Date, and you may not know this about him, but he also directed The Joker, which would become the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. He directed the highest grossing R-rated comedy, then went on and topped it off with the highest grossing R-rated all-around film of all time. That's not bad for what sparked out of a movie that was a complete accident. This wasn't just a win for one movie. It exposed what the industry had gotten completely wrong for years. Because these aren't even the biggest impacts The Hangover had. On a macro level, it triggered a chain reaction. Instead of R-rated comedy being viewed as untouchable, the success of The Hangover directly led to a resurgence in the entire genre. Suddenly, studios started greenlighting original R-rated comedies again that went on to become some of the highest grossing of all time, including Bad Teacher, We're the Millers, Bridesmaids, and Ted. Yet literally none of these films ever would have been made if it weren't for the success of The Hangover. The Hangover was supposed to die in development, but instead it rewrote Hollywood's playbook. So this begs the question, was The Hangover just a one-time miracle, or are we about to see this happen all over again? The franchise has already grossed over $1 billion at the box office, and has an extremely loyal fan base. Bradley Cooper recently said he'd love to do another Hangover movie, and Todd Phillips even teased something similar.
Hangover 4, when those 3 guys, we really went through it. We traveled the world together, making movies, promoting these movies. So it would be a shame if we didn't get the band back together to at least work together on another Hangover 4.
Whether we get another Hangover movie or just another original comedy with the same director and cast, 2 things are abundantly clear. One, there's literally no better time to make an R-rated comedy again than now. And two, studios need to learn from The Hangover and let more mid-budget comedies be made with complete creative freedom, because you never know what might end up being the next Hangover. Because if the story proves one thing, it's that the biggest hits often don't come from playing it safe, but from experiments that looked like they were destined to fail. Believe it or not, The Hangover wasn't even the most poorly treated comedy from this era. In fact, Euro Trip is actually treated even worse. I take you through the insane journey of its unique but tragic story here.
Batman is one of the most recognizable and popular characters of all time, but he's also the poster boy for reinvention. Throughout his 80 years of existence, nowhere is this more apparent than the film adaptations. From Adam West to Michael Keaton, Joel Schumacher to Zack Snyder. Yet after the disaster of Batman and Robin, it took multiple failures to revive the prized property, until Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins restored The Dark Knight from the shadow of its former self. It was a decade's worth of a guano show. A shit show. I meant to say shit show. Created in 1939 by Bill Finger, and only named by a complete fraud, Batman instantly became a comic icon. It only took 4 years before it was adapted into a 15-part film serial. Being that it was 1943, it was mainly anti-Japanese propaganda and super racist, but it was the first time Batman was on the big screen. His popularity continued to soar, especially in ABC's Batman from 1966. Starring Adam West as the Caped Crusader, the producers weren't exactly first in the comics, choosing to make the TV show outright slapstick.
Will Batman and Robin stew in their own juice? That sounds risky. Risk is our business, Mr. Wayne. Of course, Batman, I have the same faith in you that all of Gotham City has.
The series was such a colossal success, a movie was ordered, filmed, and released in 4 months. Batman the movie was the first official film for the character. As the Caped Crusader, the producers weren't exactly first in the comics, choosing to make the TV show outright slapstick.
Will Batman and Robin stew in their own juice? That sounds risky. Risk is our business, Mr. Wayne. Of course, Batman, I have the same faith in you that all of Gotham City has.
The series was such a colossal success, a movie was ordered, filmed, and released in 4 months. Batman the movie was the first official film for the character. However, he was anything but the Dark Knight.
One weighs 6 ounces, sits in a tree, and is very dangerous. A sparrow with a machine gun.
Yes, what?
DC Comics tried to shed that goofy depiction for over 20 years.
Alright.